Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the one whose pretty face is going to hell, CJ Middle, and today I'm dragging down with me Raw Power by the Stooges. I've been meaning to check out the Stooges now for a while, and I've been meaning to check out Iggy Pop as well. Lucky for me though, this album kind of was like a two birds with one stone kind of deal, because I get the Stooges and Iggy Pop. Released in 1973, Raw Power is considered to be a big influence for the creation of punk rock, which would later be formed a few years after this release. You can kind of hear some punky stuff on here. At its core, it is still hard rock. Nevertheless, some of the punk can be heard if you kind of listen between the lines. While doing a little research on this album, I came across the fact that David Bowie was actually a part of this album. From my understanding, Bowie helped to mix the album and maybe helped write part of it. I'm not 100% sure about that part. If someone wants to comment down below whether he did or did not contribute, that would be greatly appreciated. But it's also really cool, at least in my eyes, the fact that David Bowie, while not directly contributing to the creation of punk rock, had an indirect hand in the formation of what punk rock would be a few years later. I just think that's pretty cool. As mentioned before, the music on this album is at its core hard rock. However, if I were to break it down a little more, I'd say that it's 70s hard rock that's been stripped down to basic chords and the distortion is cranked. Now, Iggy does change things up on vocals. Sometimes he does these smooth vocals, and other times he adds a harsh raspiness to his voice as well. I really did dig the raspy style along with the distortion of the guitar. It really added a nice grimy rock tone that you could definitely tell would go on to be a big influence in the punk rock scene, because, the whole point of punk rock wasn't to be clean. It was more about, just expressing yourself. And it's kind of cool to hear that this was a precursor to that. Being a fan of older rock, I really did enjoy this great album. I never really got into the early punk scene. I know the Sex Pistols and bands like that at the time, but I never really got into the earlier stuff of punk. I like crust and D-beat, which is some of the punk genres I've gotten into recently, and I really like that stuff, so I think I'm gonna stick with later punk. But anyways, if you're a fan of punk or rock, I definitely think you should check out this album. It's really good. So if you're looking for something that would be a big influence on punk or just some really good hard rock, I'd recommend checking out this album. Anyways, that's all I got for this review. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you tell a friend to do the same. And I will see you at the next review.